of the Gotchi Guardians build, the next WebGL build. So been helping the team with a lot of play testing and just final vibe check for the game to make sure everything is working well in WebGL. I think it's pretty close. That's going to be pretty cool. We have finally, like, people won't have to download the game onto their computer to play it, which should be a big unlock for just accessibility. I know I'm playing it a lot more than I was before just because it's so accessible.
Yeah, that'll be helpful.
So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, like the web-based games, I gravitate towards. I'm still playing Reckless on my streams just because it's easy to access.
Nice.
So I do enjoy it. I would love to see us do something with that because I will say, Eve Denver last week, we had one day where we had Reckless on the arcade machine and people loved it. Like they were loving it. We did throw some Super Mario Brothers up on the arcade machine, which drew people in weirdly because we'd let them advance a level. And then they come back, and then somebody else would advance the level, and just kind of move it together, co-opt it like as a co-op. But with Reckless, we got a lot of like attention. Like it was showing someone on the arcade machine a very easy to play game that has a quick loop, very addictive. It worked out pretty good.
Yeah, that's a beautiful game. We got a couple more levels. We're just trying to figure out what the best time to release those is, and what we can do with them. But the game itself, I mean, beautiful game, great little loop. I felt like there's a little bit more tuning that we want to do with the Reckless team because I feel like it got too hard. Like you couldn't play long enough. That was just my feeling though. Like by the time you got to like level, like the fourth cycle, the tongue was just moving so fast, like you couldn't really escape it. It was pretty insanely hard.
See, that's crazy because I made it at Eve Denver quite often. Level 1, I got past the boss into level 2, but I maybe halfway through level 2 before I died.
Oh, I never even got to like level 4, but I saw people and I was like, that tongue just starts moving so fast. Yeah, I was not good at the game. I'm much better at Guardians, I think, than Reckless. More of a thinker when I play, not a mechanical gamer.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You're not in DC or anything. You're not attending the crypto ball or in the vicinity, right?
No, I'm just here in Nashville. Just out of the loop. Yeah.
I'm on X trying to find info about if anything cool has come out of this meeting so far. I mean, it happened. Yes, like it happened on Friday, right?
Yeah, it was happening like yesterday. I want to say afternoon, like late morning afternoon, in the U.S.
Yeah. Has anyone seen anything interesting? I've seen some pictures of, I think Sergey from Chainlink sitting next to Sailor and someone else. I think it was.
Yeah, there was
but I haven't really seen like nothing has really come of it that I've seen so far. No big announcement except for obviously the Bitcoin reserve.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen on the timeline is like a 60-second cut of like Michael Saylor's autism. It's just like a video of him like sitting there fidgeting about as people were speaking.
Yeah. He's just like, he wants to go buy some more Bitcoin. Get me out of this. I want to go buy more Bitcoin.
Yeah, alt season's been rough this time around. It's not great.
Brian Armstrong announced 1,000 new jobs at Coinbase. Really? That would be... Didn't see that one. I know I've seen them hire a couple people recently. 1,000 would be big. But yeah, I feel like it's been a quiet week in crypto this week, except for the Bitcoin reserve and the stockpile news. Other than that, it seems like it's been pretty quiet on the timeline.
Yeah, the few weeks before that were just too action packed. We had the Libra thing, then we had Bybit. Like it's like, all right, enough news. Let's just like let's have a little like like late May break here and just catch our
Yeah.
breaths and see where the market's going. Oh, you posted a chart yesterday. It was like three impulses. What was that?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'll post it. Like, uh, I don't know, but I love. I mean, I love when there's like these long-term indicators that are flashing. That's like such a cool sign. And anyone can make a chart and make it look good. Um, but there once in a while there are some pretty powerful charts out there that when you see it, you're like, oh my god, like this is. I mean, I've been following the Plan B, uh, that whole chart and the rainbow and everything since like 2017. So I still think we're going, at least. I mean, at least Bitcoin. I don't know about alts. Like just the whole alt market is so depressed because there's just so many new tokens coming out. But I think that Bitcoin, I think we're in like that period. It's like a cool down period before it's going to go crazy. I'm kind of expecting 200K, but maybe that's too crazy. But that's where obviously where I think based on like previous patterns, it seems like it's not insane.
Yeah, 200K would be nice. I mean, I would hope the whole market runs with it, but it could just be the ETFs are really like the game changer here, where it feels like there's been more of a consolidation of wealth into Bitcoin, like since it is like the de
Yeah.
facto crypto, at least here in the US.
They were, I don't know, I listened to the All In pod, which occasionally has some decent insights, mainly just for the David Sachs, just to see what he's got to say. He was talking about the difference between the Bitcoin reserve and the stockpile. Basically, that the Bitcoin reserve, they're not going to ever sell any of it. Like, I think they would. I don't know how they sell it. Maybe they never sell it. It's just like just holding ghost, or you don't sell it. You just hold on to it. But the stockpile, the secretary, the treasury secretary is able to sell whatever assets he wants. And then David Sachs made this comment. He's like, yeah, we might sell the ETH, or something about like selling ETH for Bitcoin because it's like Bitcoin's a better token. It's like, man, Vitalik, come on, man, like he's not in there. He's not. I guess he's part of this whole dinner, like this White House conference, but ETH needs to get in there better and like be better represented than like XRP, because yeah, I didn't. It was not good to hear that from David Sachs talking about selling ETH to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Well, at least this is the one like Friday where we didn't have anything crazy happen. Like every other like presidential or like pre-presidential Trump also right before inauguration. That was the
Yeah,
Friday that we got the Trump token, and it feels like every Friday there's been some kind of crazy event. Libra was on a Friday. It's just like I think the whole discussion of Dave Portnoy and Kanye West dropping tokens happened on a Friday. So it's good to have a Friday where there's like,
right.
oh, major crypto news, and there's not like a daily runner or anything. I feel like we're getting back to normal. Like all the poop coin madness is starting to get out.
Right. They tried. I mean, I think what was there? There was one coin that I think Grok came out this week, because the Grok app came out, and then I was seeing some people talk about Grok on the timeline. Apparently, that one ran pretty well. Golden Cross, GM. I downloaded the Grok app. Pretty cool. It's nice to have an alternative to the ChatGPT on the phone. Seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, I've been using Grok more for scripting because it understands and searches Twitter so well.
Yeah.
So it's like the one thing is I do have to fact check it. Like I had it write a script about a game that's doing a campaign on Say. So I was like, oh, here's the like the main account. Here's their medium. Based on this information, whatever else you find, write a script. And in the script, it mentioned once or twice testnet coming soon. And I was like, I haven't seen anything about a testnet. What is it talking about? So it gives you the sources. Check the sources. It's just like a random nobody that just tagged the project and said testnet coming soon, and Grok incorporated
Right.
that into the script. So I was like, oh no, I gotta make sure it's a
I
little.
guess you could say like only could you tell it to only use posts from the official account?
Yeah, I
Or
was
did you
thinking
do that and
primary
it just
sources.
ignored you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually with ChatGPT, I just feed it text. Like I don't even give it websites. I just go to the website, copy, paste the whole damn thing,
Yeah.
drop it in, and then say, give me a new style script. No shillingness, no timestamps, no stage directions. Just give me the words. And now I'm starting to use links in it. But just look like Jesse, that Sono, uh,
Oh yeah.
music
Suno.
AI. I've been going nuts with it this week. All my music for the new videos have been basically that. I did a Pizza Dow recap video for them, and I basically had Suno do a a pizza style pop song, and it kind of worked perfectly for the video.
That's great. It's so flexible. Like I had a buddy's birthday party coming up, and I just did like a gag song to like make fun of him, take the piss. It was perfect. It's like so useful. But it took me all 10 minutes to do, you know. Duno was awesome.
Yeah, I do love it. Like using it for instrumentals is great for me, but just that you could co-write with it. Like what I've been doing is dropping in scripts into like rock and say, "Hey, turn this into a rap about this subject." It's usually crypto stuff, and then I'll feed that into Suno, and it'll add music and the whole nine. And it's not bad. It's not horrible. So it still needs a lot of refinement because this is such a niche topic, but knowing that I could write with it and then just feed it, and the production value is so good, it's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys hop in, you know, District One and go hang out in the dance hall, all those songs that I put together with Thrax for that video montage, that all started as Suno. Like we did some post
Yeah.
production and stuff to like take it to a little bit different level, but that was back when it was like I think V3. Now they're on V4, and you can like do a lot more editing and like multi-track it within Suno now. So it's pretty crazy what you can do. But yeah, all those songs were like we want to make content quickly, but like you can tweak it and make it whatever you want. So like that's how you get like the voiceovers singing about Geist or whatever else you want to do. So we had a blast making that music, and that was mostly through Suno.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the more useful uses of AI for me. Just like I upgraded to their paid pack because I just like every time I have an idea for a video, it's like, oh, let's put a script and see what kind of instrumental it gives me. It's kind of cool. It's a good tool.
Yep, totally. And Dan, you were mentioning like the new Grok separate app. We were just talking about like they're eventually going to spin it off as its own like downloadable app. And
Oh yeah, they did that.
yeah, yeah. No, I've been playing with it in the last couple days. The one use case, I love how they like kind of hold your hand and they're like, "Do you want an assistant?" I think that next one is like storyteller, romantic. I haven't clicked on that one yet. I'm happily married, but they got all the options. And I went ahead and clicked on storyteller, and like they'll just tell you a story or like give you history or whatever you want. But kind of a pro tip if you guys play with it, like so I was like, well, I have like these family stories or like, you know, stories that family members have told me over the years. And I have a terrible memory, like long term, I'm gonna forget these things or mess them up. So I was like, what if I tell you a story and you kind of like take notes and like make it like I'm a terrible storyteller, so make it more fun. And that totally worked. Like instead of just transcribing it word for word, which would have been really not that good, it took like I did my best and then it like read it back to me, but as an actual storyteller. And I was like, that's a big upgrade. and you copy paste it, throw it in a Google Doc, and I think it's like a cool way to like, I don't know, you could use it for any sort of situation, but in this case, it was for like a family heirloom type of thing. I was like, this is a really cool use case here. I stumbled into. So storyteller mode, kind of cool. Goes both
That's
ways.
awesome. I'm terrible at telling stories. Maybe I'll use Grok and come up with a couple good ones. Be able to tell at cocktail parties.
Right. It could make you a better storyteller. Be like, here's how
Right.
I should do it, and they're like, all right, let's amp it up here. Let's give it a good ending, and then
Yeah.
read it back to you.
That's funny.
Totally. I'm a bit late. No future. Have you talked about your time in Denver? Because we had a good sync with Lost Local the other day, and just lots of raving reviews for like you were just so on the ball out there and stuff. So we knew it, like you were covering it on socials so well. But yeah, what was your kind of experience in Denver?
Yeah, it was fun. This one felt smaller than the previous ones, but it was just spreading the gotchi gospel, talking to a lot of people who are they see the IP, and if they don't know like about Aavegotchi and Aave, they come over and they're enthusiastic. So a lot of builders at ETH Denver, I tend to push the DAO a bit more because it's like, hey, if you want to build stuff, like there was a woman that spoke with me that's doing like a L2 or something on Bitcoin, and they're looking for gaming IPs and stuff like that. So I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, if you
Bitcoin
come,
OS probably.
yeah, Bitcoin OS. So it's like, yeah, come to our DAO if it's something that like we can figure out a way, and it seems productive for both of us, and you guys, present it, kind of going through the procedures of what they would have to do to approach the DAO, from the very beginning, just jumping in and doing a forum post and just jump in the Discord. I felt like most of us kind of stressed that, like, go to the Discord and you can communicate. The community is pretty communicative if you go over to our Discord. So yeah, it was fun. I didn't do a lot of parties. I was more in like focus on work mode, and just like shot some videos and talked to a lot of good people. So you tend to see a lot of the same people, but this is ETH Denver tends because it's free. If you're a sport holder, you get a lot of different people that kind of pass through. So it was cool seeing a lot of children come and play Reckless on the Polycade playing Geist Battler, I think is the name of it now. He's going to change it, obviously, on the arcade game, and just checking everything out because it is a very kid-friendly IP. Did I lose you guys?
No, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna do a quick poll here. I got a question for people. I'm just getting it ready.
Yeah, and Jesse just dropped the video. It was good. You could see even in that still frame of the video behind me, that's the base interaction. They had these blocks, and that was one of the more
Yeah.
popping interactions. People kept coming over there, chilling, and then coming by us, and then they would rotate over to Polygon. We were in a good spot, like in terms of there was like a huge prize wheel right next to us, so we get a lot of like traffic just coming and flowing through the convention.
Yeah, I think the spot was very prime.
Which old friend?
They're always trying to make. I see this thing in the video, Year of the Regenerates. They're always trying to make it like a regen thing, which I get it, but it's like I don't know. It always feels kind of weird.
Yeah, that base booth. They did right before I went to ETH Denver, I read something on X about how like crazy toxic Girl Scout cookies are. And then of course at the base activation every day at the same time, they have like a Girl Scout cookie sale. So it's like all these Girl Scout cookies and people holding signs, buy Girl Scout cookies, and I'm like, "Ugh, I want them, but they're toxic."
Wait, why? Why? Like, are they on-chain cookies?
I don't know if they were on chain, but they were doing something like at the base booth, like doing like where you see the picture I'm sitting with the based
Yeah.
GIF. It's like right behind that they had like a little station set up, and they would just do cookies. I didn't go and check because I was working the whole time, but and also toxic. I was trying to avoid it.
Are they really?
Yeah, I
they're-
read
they're-
something that's like all these heavy metals are in them, and it's like, damn, I like Girl Scout cookies, but
What? Jesus.
it could just be Twitter lying to me because that's like it's not infallible. But yeah, unfortunately, because I skipped Breckenridge, I was like, the last day I was there, Saturday going into Sunday, I just couldn't breathe. It gets so dry in Denver, and for me,
Yeah.
I need the humidity. I'm from New York. I like live in Tennessee, so I was dying. I wanted to take one of these home with me, the gifts. I can have it on the in the studio on the wall. So I'm gonna have to hit up Lost Local and see if he can send me one of them.
Speaking of gifts, deep in it, I'm curious what you guys think. Which of these three is your favorite? Let's do one. Let's see. 1, 2. I love this gift, man. So one is Raffle, Gotchi, and Sus kind of floating around. 2 is just Raffle and Gotchi. And 3 is Raffle and Gotchi with Sus floating a little bit less, kind of chilling there more. Curious which ones you guys like. Does anyone have a preference?
I like the simplicity of number 2. Like, I love the Sus Butterfly, but I feel like it distracts me from the Gotchi and Raffle, which are just looking like the Raffle looks like it's really relaxed.
Dude, the Raffle is just soaking, man. He's so he's just chilling.
Yeah, the grin is everything.
I know, I love that grin.
So the
grin
Sus Butterfly like
beautiful.
takes it away because it's like this calm.
I agree,
and it's just like busy.
Right. That's what I told Z-Bod too. I'm like, I kind of just want. I mean, we could upload both and just like let people choose, but I kind of prefer with that. It's like more relaxed, just them kind of chilling there. There's no butterfly fluttering around. Yeah, I agree. Sus is a little bit at odds with the vibe.
Yeah, because number 2 just...
If Sus was like maybe doing something, like just kind of chilling maybe we do one more version where Sus is like on the leaf, just kind of chilling, like blending in maybe. But I don't know. I kind of just like the camaraderie of the two.
Yeah, I like the 2.
This might be my favorite gift every week I feel like I have a new favorite. Like Touching Grass was amazing. This one is pretty epic.
Choina, those are the ones I wanted. Not those 2. But which was the one? I wanted the Gotchi sitting with the Aave, like the very chill vibe coding look to it. Lo-fi Gotchi, yeah. Either that or the not the popcorn one. There was another one. It was all the Gotchis together with the martinis and the wine bottle.
One of Us.
It could be that one. I took a picture with it one of the first days. I was like, this is us at the party last night. And it was just Gotchi sitting with their drinks. Yeah, Eve Denver.
We got this one. This one's coming out soon as well. We got a nice little arsenal here building up. There's a couple different versions of this one. There's one where it actually says like "you up," and it shows the message. But I kind of just like this one.
I forgot. I'm sharing these videos. We took Maxi Crouton to his first McDonald's in the U.S. By choice. He wanted to go, and he wanted to have like an American meal. So we have a montage of videos. These 3 videos, which kind of intro him going in, shows the food, and then his reaction after eating the food. So TLDR 7 of 10. He wasn't impressed by the cheese.
Of course.
Dude, that cheese is plastic. I always try to avoid the cheese. It's like got addictive qualities. in the roast club. That's awesome though. 7 of 10 ain't bad for McDonald's.
Yeah, American cheese product is good. 7 of 10 I take. Yeah, like we were, because he got, what did he get? He got a Big Mac just straight up. and then I think the soda and fries. But he additionally got a barbecue double quarter pounder with bacon. But it's the Angel Reese, who's the Chicago WNBA player. It's her
Yeah.
sandwich. So I was like get the regular double pounder if you're gonna do it. You get a weird off label like athlete associated piece of meat. I don't know. I wouldn't want that to be like my all star representation of McDonald's.
Right. You want the greatest hits. You don't want like the seasonal promotion thing. That's for sure. Angel Reese has a burger? Yeah. She's got
Yeah,
cereal too.
she's doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, so he didn't mind the burger meat. He absolutely like Piglet had a Shamrock Shake, which is just pure green sugar. He tried that. He was not a fan of it. I don't think he liked the Dr Pepper either. But the fries, he a lot of salt on the fries. He was in there, but yeah, we got a good review out of him. I think it was fun.
Dr. Pepper's an acquired taste. I'll stick up for Dr. Pepper though. It's good stuff. Kind of.
I always go with Barks if they have it.
I mean, all this health food talk and fast food talk, it's kind of clashing. But and then another thing I'm seeing on the timeline is it Steak and Shake or the other one? One of them is doing like, with RFK and all this, they're doing like the beef tallow fries, like no more seed oil, whatever, vegetable oil. Oh,
That's
am
awesome.
I- yeah, I think it's Steak and Shake. I could be wrong. Somebody help me out here. Yeah, no future. That's the best gift. That's the one we were talking about, right? Love that gift.
Yeah, it's good. Representative.
And
You
with
should've just taken it, bro.
today's,
Just cop one.
well, don't ask Los Lobos, just take it.
Yeah.
I'm already gone.
Yes.
I forgot to grab it before I left because they were bringing it up to Breckenridge
Ah.
to show them at the Rare Evo event.
When I went to the Chain Link event in Barcelona, people were taking chairs. There was people like roll. I felt bad. I was like taking a little seat cushion. I saw some people like rolling chairs out. They're like,
You okay, Paul?
the organizer's like, hey, where are you guys going with that? It's like, don't it was like you just kind of ignored them and just kept rolling. Conference swag, man. Gotta
It's
get what you can get.
sad here. So very sad here.
This year I took it easy on the swag. I didn't bring back a ton of stuff. I think I got some like Polygon shirts. I got some Say related stuff. But I was like, the last conference I went to was in Miami, and I ended up bringing back like a packed bag full of extra stuff. And I was just like, I can't. I have this addiction for this free stuff. This year was more tame. I was like, I'm not drinking the free coffee. I'm avoiding all these like T-shirts. It's good to rotate them into gym wear though, so which is pretty good. But all the stuff I got was pretty high quality. So that not getting that GIF, I was like, that was on my list. I got a lot of comic books though, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the White House Crypto Summit chair is probably quite the collectible.
I saw Sergey was introduced apparently as the guy that got Bitcoin at $30. Like, secretary leaned over to the president's like, this guy got it at $30.
Whoa. Great intro.
I know. And I see the replies. They're like, he didn't buy it. He mined it. A little respect.
We were talking a little bit about the summit before you came on, Golden Cross. Besides Bitcoin Reserve and the stockpile announcement, did you see anything interesting on the timeline? I didn't really see anything new coming out or any great pictures.
I heard the meeting was really boring. I actually haven't watched any of it. But I think like outside the meeting, the key is the commerce secretary. I think that's what it is, Lutnick. He was saying like at least for US banks now, like they just lifted a bunch of regulations. And I don't know if it's related to the meeting or not, but timing seems to be basically the same. And like US banks can now like start custodying crypto and are encouraged to like start custodying and using stable coins. So I don't know, like everything right now, it's all based off like some social media tweet. I haven't deep dived, but big if true. That would be the biggest part of it, I think. Like the implications for that is it's huge, right? Like we're gonna get Bank of America and Chase. Like
That's all the choke point 2.0 stuff is gone. That's amazing. All these new
yeah,
banks can open back up and hold crypto on their balance sheet that isn't it's not a liability anymore, sounds like.
I mean, so on a technical level, that's huge. Like that's the stuff we need. But I think people, all of us, like that's priced in. So people want to see
Yeah.
some surprise or something more. Like, what was your tweet the other day, Dan? We basically want to see us Fort Knox and swap
Yeah,
it.
they want to let's go into Elon Musk, go into Fort Knox, take all the gold. I mean, assuming the gold is there, and sell it, YOLO it into Bitcoin, market buy. That's what the market was expecting or wants. It didn't happen.
Yeah, anything short of that, it's going to be a sell. So boring in the short term, but I think it's very positive long term.
I mean, I'm just really happy to see and relieved the SEC has canceled, basically closed all. I think like almost all of its cases that it had against various projects. Like that's so healthy for the space because all these cases, like there was Uniswap and Coinbase, Yuga Labs, OpenSea. They were all like being sued by the SEC. But these are the best actors in the space. Like if they're being sued, and all the bad guys are not. So I think that was really nice to see that that the good, at least the good actors in the space, aren't being actively punished anymore.
No, it's a big change, and I mean, even for us, like it's as Americans, I feel
Yeah.
way more comfortable working in this industry.
Totally.
Right? So
I mean, if Kamala had won, guys, like man, it would be really really rough. This to be in this industry as an American, very scary stuff. We're so relieved as founders that, and we're like good actors, or try to be good actors in the space. So really relieved that how things are happening. 2025 has been a good year so far for being a crypto founder. Sleep a little better.
yeah, yeah. Price action aside, the regulatory landscape it's finally cleaning up. And price action will catch up, right? Like everybody's, I don't know, the market's kind of exhausted. I think in more ways than one. Meme coin season was very exhausting. It's going to catch its breath, see where all this stuff is laying down in like the regulatory space, and realize we can actually, I don't know, it could be really good for utility tokens and DAOs. Like I'm thinking about Wyoming and the DAO landscape. Is that something you saw no future in ETH Denver? Was there a lot of DAO talk or presence, or was that kind of not at the forefront? Because what Jason shared was like a lot of kind of boring from my point of view, like real world assets type RWA type stuff was kind of at the forefront of ETH Denver, which is okay, but where's the on-chain stuff?
Yeah, it felt like from my perspective, because I mean I was at the booth like a lot, so I didn't really move around the whole conference
He's
as much.
coming
Yeah.
back. Just on the meme coin side, something that worried me a little bit was again David Sachs on the All In podcast this morning. One of the whole podcast. If you guys are interested, you can skip basically the podcast, but there's 20 minutes at the end with David Sachs. I mean, he's the crypto czar. He was talking about giving market structure and giving clarity on regulations. And he said he already talked about selling ETH, but he also was talking about basically, to me, it kind of sounded like he's pro meme coin and not as pro utility coin. He was talking about, like we're going to give clarity to allow people to, like, if you just say it's a collectible, there's no utility, that's good. Like, you can make your meme coin. It sounded like he was a little anti-utility. I was like, man, I hope that they figure out, like, these utility tokens are not securities, and there's got to be another, dimension to this that's not just either meme token or security. The whole industry is like built on, like, the whole non-meme coin industry is built on utility tokens. So I really hope that someone is talking to David Sachs and being like, man, maybe I'll make a tweet, because it was very off-putting to have him phrase it like that. It was like kind of an annoying clip.
Right. I haven't listened, but I can imagine where he's coming from. Is like, it's a lot easier to point it. I think because NFTs preceded memes, like NFTs are like very much in the collectibles category. And you just be like, memes are just the ERC20 version of that. It's like a more liquid version of a collectible. But utility is like implying there's this use case, and obviously that comes from that era, but things were more muddy. So yeah, it's disappointing. Like, there needs to be a new rule book for crypto. And if we try to like shoehorn it into some law from the 1930s, this really falls short.
Yeah. But I don't know if you want to respond to that earlier question there in the future.
Yeah. Sorry, I had myself muted and I started to answer earlier and I didn't realize I was still muted. For ETH Denver, like, I ended up staying a lot at the booth, moving around, seeing kind of what was there. It felt like it felt more corporate-y, like kind of blockchain in a way. Like, there were a lot of like large activations. Like, I forget, I think one was ZK Sync Era, or like some kind of like ZK something chain, and they had coffee and donuts there set up for people, so people would go over and they kind of chill. And then my experience sitting at the booth, it felt like a lot more BD coming over to talk BD about infrastructure for the project. Like, we're asking technical questions. It's like, I'm a DAO member, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, the RWA stuff, you kind of saw it more towards the front, I feel like, of the conference, but where I was, it seemed like it was more blockchain driven, because we were in a direct line of Base and Polygon, and then to the left of us was, I think, Hedera. They had a Hello Future set up, so there was a lot of RWAs. I think I just felt like this one was a little bit more corporate. Like, it just didn't have that same kind of loose vibe that the last 2 years had, and then it kind of shrunk a little bit. A lot of D-Pin stuff. Even at Pizza DAO, we did, for the video, they had the Ninja Turtles dancing with a Tesla Cybertruck outside with Demo, which is on Polygon. It's a D-Pin network where you're adding your automobile's information to the blockchain, and you earn points or whatever for that. So they were there, and then there was like a DeFin, DEPHY, I think, something like that. DeFi, like spelt like that, and it was another like DePin project.
Let's shift gears a bit here, just to talk about what's going on with Aavegotchi this week. Share any updates on the Gotchiverse side. On my side, I just posted here, we got a bunch of SIG props and core props out. On my side, I did post the proposal to make Aavegotchi based again. I posted that about 4 days ago, and we're 50% quorum, so getting pretty close. And that kind of goes through not too much meat in the proposal itself. It links over to the post I made on X But so far, it seems like the community is very strongly in support of that. So very cool. And on our side, the team is actively working on all the migrations and everything that needs to be done for that. One part that's kind of a little bit challenging but doable. There's a lot of Aavegotchis in multi-sigs, Gnosis safe multi-sigs. So what we're basically doing with those, if you have your assets in one of those, is we're going to be deploying the safe onto base for you with the same exact address as it has on Polygon and the same safe owners on as on Polygon. And then we'll drop the asset into that wallet for you. So literally you won't have to do anything. There's also a couple wallets, the smart contracts that have owners, and for those we will just be airdropping them into the owner's address. And for contracts that don't have owners, those are going to be the final special case. But there's like not even a handful of those. It's very nice to see that the vast majority of assets are either in EOAs or they are in smart contracts, multi-sigs with owners. So that's the main complexity of the work that the team is looking at. And just there's the Aavegotchi diamond, there's the Realm diamond, fake gotchis, the tiles, the installations, wearables, just making sure that we catch all the edge cases and get them minted properly on base. So that's what the team's working on that side, at least part of it. And then also the DApp, just making sure that the DApp functions properly on base as well. And then just before the call here, also the second part of this was what's going to happen to Gotchi points. So I also deployed that proposal as well. And this was basically a back and forth between myself and quite a few community members in the Make Aavegotchi Based Again discussion channel. So I think we came to a pretty good compromise here on what to do with Gotchi Point Season 1. So team's been very busy. That's just what I've been doing. We also got obviously a lot of work happening on Gotchi Guardians as we're very, very close. The team is doing final testing on the WebGL build right now, and I've been playing it all week. I love it. I'm so happy that we're finally getting WebGL build for Gotchi Guardians, because it's just gonna, first of all, it's gonna make it way more accessible. They're also adding in the ability to use your own Gotchi. So I would expect we're going to be doing an XP event very soon for Gotchi Guardians, I think that'll be the first time we've ever done an XP event for Gotchi Guardians. So that's going to be pretty sick.
Hard to believe.
Yeah. Just haven't had the Gotchi in there. So now you can finally load in your Gotchi. It doesn't give you any benefits or anything, because we're as you guys know, this is more of our attempt to make a mass market game that is going to be potentially playable by hundreds of thousands of people. So we can't make it too asset heavy, otherwise we'll get accused of making it pay to win, just very, very pay to win. But just being able to use my Gotchi in the game feels really nice.
Very satisfying. And just being in WebGL, obviously very similar to what happened with Gotchiverse. It's so nice to just drop a link and be like, oh yeah, let's play. Let's go. So we wanted to have it for ETH Denver. Want to acknowledge that was the original goal, but there was a kind of crossroads where it's 1-2 quality of life improvements that aren't going to make the cut. And the call was made based on what we were seeing heading into, you could kind of tell in the days leading up to when the booth would go live that ETH Denver just wasn't going to have the same punch it had in previous years. And it was okay. We had enough things going on at the booth. We had enough things happening that it didn't make sense to rush the release. and compromise just for an IRL event. As much as I would have loved to have it there for like no future, I don't know, maybe from your point of view, it would have been amazing to have on the show floor. But we had that Valentine's release on the show floor, and that was already pretty strong. And they're not going to notice on the show floor, like, oh, it's WebGL. And it doesn't really make a difference. So we're getting our ducks in a row. And I'm just happy to add in on my side, very, very busy on outreach to our partners to make sure that the WebGL release, the browser-based release, is something that is very well distributed across Hyperplay, our friends over there. They have been also kind of emphasizing the browser-based games here in 2025. They also recognize the friction of downloads. And then we're also happy to acknowledge a couple of new partners, different platforms that are going to be hosting Gotcha Guardians for the first time. So the most interesting of those is probably the DAR Open Network. If you guys are familiar with that, you can check them out. They're going to be making some announcements here in the next couple of days. And they're a chain agnostic gaming platform as well. And they're very, very excited about the Gotcha Guardians release. So Dan, maybe you can speak to this a bit, but I see this WebGL release as not the 100,000 players that comes next. That's like what we're setting up for. But it is for the Web3 focused release where we start getting enough of a player base where you can find a match more easily. And for us, we can start getting more player feedback and some analytics and learn about where players are falling off or where they're sticking and improve from there in preparation for a much bigger go-to-market.
Yeah, I think right now the key here is to build a decent group of players playing every day, leveling up, just playing the game as it's intended to be, so that when we do start promoting on bigger platforms, Epics, other console, handheld, mobile, things like that, that we have that group of people kind of already seeding the matches, so that there's actually, it's kind of a chicken and egg problem. But we have our core community here. We can do XP events. We can do all sorts of campaigns within our community, and also just a little bit of larger Web3 gaming. Build some hype for this game, because it's honestly, I think it's one of the most well-built games in our industry in terms of just polish and progression system, the shop, like it's got everything. So we're going to do some attempts here to rally some interest from other people in crypto gaming, which is not the most active niche at the moment and kind of needs content. We need a winner kind of as a vertical, and I think Gotcha Guardians has decent potential to be that. So first goal is to just make it super easy for people to jump in and play a match. And that's what's happening on Pixelcraft. We can talk about Gotchiverse here in a sec, but I did want to give a shout out to FIFU and PG that you guys might have seen the announcement was the small announcements channel, which also got translated into every language and pinged the whole server. So apologies for that. We'll get that. I think we already got it fixed. But now you can, if you go and view the Aavegotchi and the drill down, there's a section that shows you all of its stats in each of the games. So Gotchi Battler, Stratagotchi, Dropped, and Spirit Force Arena, which will eventually be Gotchiverse 3D. So kudos to them for getting that. And then there's also one more part coming soon, which is the configs. So you'll be able to save different configs for different games, and then equip all of your, batch equip all of your gotchis at the same time, which is going to be pretty sick. I think it's going to be a big quality of life for a lot of people playing the different games. And they're also it's been fun having especially FIFU in the Aavegotchi dApp repo, because the team is actively finalizing some final kind of house cleaning features that we've been doing. Trying that we're prepping the repo for being open sourced. So this was like always fun to have other devs coming in and helping, looking around the repo, giving feedback on it, see what can be improved. But yeah, we're also really excited to finally open source Aavegotchi dApp. And there are some, have the same concerns as I've always had, which is that we're worried that someone's just gonna redeploy it with fake code and phishing. But we're also we have some ideas on how to address that, make it simpler for everyone. Yeah, thank you, FIFO. Golden Cross, do you have any updates to share on the Gotchiverse 3D? Obviously, we got the Gotchi Points campaign, which is going to be key and crucial for Alchemica.
Yeah.
So following up with farming and GBS, I know you guys are busy on that.
Yeah. In case you missed it, just reposting the build mode work in progress that is about a week old now. You guys might have seen it last weekend. And on top of that, I'll drop one more video of, so we got build mode, then you need crafting as well, right? So here is a work in progress that it's going to take a minute to load here. The caveat on this is just the HUD. There's been a lot of like placeholder text on it, so don't get too bugged out about some of the text you see. That's all been already updated since this video was recorded. But I thought it'd be good to share it with you guys anyway. It comes from the team channel, and you can see that crafting is there, build mode. We're pretty well good to go. We are in the middle of, I believe it's the 15th sprint. And so that started on March 1st. It will wrap up on March 14. And then it should be completely done by March 14. Like we're actually really close now, tying up a few loose ends. And then we just want to leave about a week for testing. And I guess the question and something we've been talking with the team about is we want to get you guys involved as early as possible. So it's theoretically possible that we find a way to share it with you guys earlier than like the quote unquote official release date after the QA testing. If we can get some or everyone who wants to join the QA testing, we might do that. The thing is like to share the link, if we give the link, it's like permanently going to give you access to everything the team pushes for staging. And so we're kind of like trying to see if it's worth the squeeze to spend, I don't know, 2 days or whatever it would take for one of the devs to set up a separate, like a whitelisting way to do it. But those are precious dev hours that we'd rather use to just push to finish too. So long story short, farming is pretty much like at the doorstep. And I think in terms of rollout for different things, we want to do the Guardians release here in the next week. So get ready to get loud about Gotchi Guardians. We're going to push it across Hyperplay, DAR, and maybe B3 and a few others, and just get loud on crypto about that one. And then do an official release for farming after that one has some room to breathe. So March, we should have 2 big releases. Guardians on browser-based, shortly followed by this farm release that includes everything you want. Farming, build mode, basically it'll be done proper one-to-one, where everything you can do in 2D, you can do in 3D, except even better. You'll have the empty all parcels, all that good stuff. And I think you'll just find the experience like very pleasant. So that's kind of the goal right now. Yeah, I think Grim, we are thinking of you. We're like, can we just get Grim early access for the poor guy with 100 plus parcels?
We're trying, but it's the link thing is a bit of an issue. We'll see if we can get a special link or a non-permanent link that can just open the build, not have the staging environment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun to. It's gonna be a big quality of life to not have to click on each parcel individually.
It's gonna be nice. So yeah, very bullish on that. And then GBS work is already underway on some aspects of the team, so you guys know that.
Yeah,
We're
we had
kind of
good news
calling
on that
it.
actually, right?
Well, there's a lot of good news. Which part are you referring to? I
On
don't want to
well, one of the devs was there. We had some issues last time in I think it was a WebGL issue, not being able to like throw grenades or fire, like combat
Oh,
was kind of an issue. But I think that they were looking at that and it turned out not to be a big issue.
yeah, that's a good point. So, just a little backstory here. When we were prepping D1 and for the social release around Christmas, one of the things that hung us up for way longer than we had estimated was, we were porting it over from SFA and from Spirit Force, and we were on WebGL, and every time somebody would fire, we'd be like, fine, we are testing it, and one person would shoot their gun, shoot a laser off, and like everything would get laggy for everybody. The whole game would like basically come to a halt. And so combat, we had to just rip combat out, which was okay because we didn't really need it for socials. But we knew eventually we'd want to bring that back in. And we're very pleased to say, like, when we, in this current sprint, we estimated 23 hours for exploring how to get combat back in and not break the WebGL build. And knock on wood, it's gone way smoother. It was basically an 8-hour job. So we're way under the estimate and it's working. So we're really pleased with that.
Yeah, so lots of good stuff happening in on all fronts, and Gotchiverse, Guardians, gifts, you name it. It's been a pretty good week for Gotchi. Ghost. Need some more action on Ghost, but we're getting there.
When staking, well,
Right. I posted didn't realize that there was no mention of Aavegotchi, but Grid Gladiators. Maybe did he take out all the Aavegotchi stuff? But either way, I mean, he's I think been in the community and also always like to support the community builders. So if you haven't already, go over to Steam. If you have a Steam account, give Grid Gladiators a wish list. I don't know if that'll help the algorithm a little bit. But I think it's pretty cool to see him, continuing to build that game.